maybe even down mid if you're trying to do an A split.
This is one of the this is the most difficult map in the game for Sentinels. And as
Oh,
someone
for
that
sure.
loves the Rock, the Cypher, the Killjoy, sometimes the Sage myself, like, in my plat rank play, which is, not nearly as high caliber as this, it's not fun. So I can definitely imagine not bringing any sort of Sentinel here. But you do have the Resurrect on CLG side, and that could be a benefit in of itself.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I just noticed the reason why they do not have the Sentinel on the side of Shopify is because Flowerful is not in the lineup now. That's why they brought out the double duelist.
And it makes sense too, right? You don't really need a Sentinel for this matchup here, and Flowerful loves to play the dedicated Sentinel. Why bring them out? But KP is already pushing up in mid along with Diana, and all of CLG are able to skirt on by. They hear the footsteps though. In fact, they're going to be tailing from behind. Great trades come through, and the IGL's already gone. Now Claudia's stuck in the middle of mid, Lori all over on side of B, but Diana's yet to be caught out, and they're waiting for that push-up to go through arches. It's going to work out well, except for Claudia finding yet another body. Both duelists now gone. Now down to a 2v3, Shopify Rebellion. Not having many options left in this 2v2. Trying to pass on to the site. The Sage Wall does come into effect. And CLG, they only have one left on site.
The health bars on Shopify are definitely a lot better than Rise, but she's going to get stuck very soon, as that's going to be the recon dart spotting her out, and she will get taken down. And that was just a really chaotic fight at mid there. CLG Red trying to use their Viper Wall maybe potentially to play around it, but it just kind of got caught there with Shopify pushing out there so early, and mid is just such a point of contention on Breeze.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the Sage Wall coming up in arches too. It really messed with, I think, CLG's plans for that initial push through elbow. But from there, CLG, they still came really close to succeeding in that last round. I'm curious to see what the Sage Wall is going to do, if it's going to go up in arches every round, Kura, or if it's going to be changing all the time.
I think it is just going to be changing. Honestly, with any of these choke points, you just want to block off one of them. I feel like it doesn't matter that much which one you block off, as long as you're just having less angles to check. As look at this push up mid. They're all inside of Nest.
This is so aggressive, and they're trying to overwhelm Diana, but it's working horribly against them. It's a whole lineup. Beautiful work, catching out the rotates against each other. Shopify are good for two.
I feel like it's a little bit dangerous to push straight up mid like that and not actually go through arches or go through the wooden door and go in through Nest, because Shopify Rebellion or any defenders, they can play further back on the site, and then they won't really get caught out as much as, say, Ascent, where you're more playing on the site and not actually inside your spawn.
And I think that's part of the benefit, too, of having double duelists, right? Maybe you can push up mid a little bit more effectively. But with Shopify, they caught each other out on these odd rotates. And Shopify, they're good for the first two rounds, but this is going to be the first rifle that we see, Kura. And I'm curious to see if that long range is going to play more in the favor of CLG.
Yep, I mean, we saw both Skybirds coming out. Now, Shopify and CLG Red have information that there are people mid and people on that A site. But Diana is so far out, and she just got a little bit pinched right there, because last time CLG Red came, I mean, of course, they went back to check if anybody had pushed out mid, and in that case, at the wooden doors, there was one person.
That spike has been long dropped. It's going to be reacquired, though, by the Brimstone. Call's been made to go for the rotate. There's a bit of an issue, though. Naomi, well, was postured on forwards, but KP came in for the mini flank. They're so good at doing that. But now Benita and company going to re-rotate again. And try to go for the smokes. Unaware about KP once more. Good for the Crystal Caves. Kirby's nowhere to save them. And it's going to be KP again guarding the spike. And more bodies keep going down. It's now a giant pinch coming through what's left of CLG. Sage is going to attempt to push on through, but Chobo to fall. One left alive. They've been spotted out by the recon bolt. Rise will do what they can, but the Viper Spit coming on through. They're effectively trapped. It's a three-way pinch. Double Spit comes through. No place to go, no place to run. It's Panini to end things up.
Evan, that's kind of the other thing about Breeze as well, is you need to be really careful about your flanks, and you have to make sure to take up space, because if you give the defenders too much, you get really easily pigeonholed. Like, see in there, you got pigeonholed inside of shop and inside of caves, and you do not want to have that happen again. As going into round number 4, it's going to be that save coming out from CLG, and Shopify have that operator on Lori looking that B. These long sight lines. Op is going to have a field day.
Yeah, I'm really nervously excited to see what Lori can bring out here. Remember on Ascent against Genji, not like a map ago for this broadcast, they were able to find a collateral, and they still end things on forwards with a double kill again to start things off.
Again, the long sightlines, what can you really say? You have to try to like smoke it off, block her sight. But the only thing available for CLG Red is going to be the Viper Wall, which hasn't even been placed by Rise. Only that Poison Cloud just to get themselves through mid. It's going to be a really hard battle. Shopify Rebellion already pushing outside of A.
You might as well, right? The map is so big. There's no Sentinel utility to really play around with. Flank potential is going to be so big, but Rise finds KP. There's still one more to deal with. Diana with the refrag is so good, but Naomi again. It's just a back and forth. A 2v3 now. Shopify do have the body lead, but Lori still holding on tight. Not able to find one. Gets hit by the cabbages instead. Decides to relegate the shot and let them push onto the site. It's going to be the Sky essentially by themselves. Han going for the re-rotate. But inside of Arches will be Rise to play. Diana still hasn't been caught out yet. Try to go for one shot. Unaware though. Not a round designed for CLG to win. It's a Shiko. Picking up acquired utility though. It's going to be Naomi with the Spectre. 1v3 again. Not going to work out. Lori dominant like you mentioned.
Yeah, I was going to say that CLG Red had the Viper's Pit available, so I kind of expected them, because they had a Spectre, to just use that inside the pit and potentially win that round, but it seems like they're just going to save it for a later time and wait until they have that full buy, which they will have in this round. So hopefully we'll see that go down. I feel like the Viper's Pit I feel like both sides. It's fine on both sides. I have seen it used on B a little bit more than on A, just because you have that pillar to work around, while on A it gets really chaotic inside those pyramids.
Oh yeah, it's so chaotic. It's a game of strafing once you're on the site.
But in any case, for CLG, it seems like, once again, they're going to move toward that B side. The Viper Wall is a little bit interesting. I thought I would see more of it being placed diagonally, but it is just being placed to cut off that left side of the site, where CLG Red probably would push if they decide to go on. But of course, the Viper's Pit is going to come down, and look at that. That's an initial pick.
B-side's looking like a math problem right now, like a geometry one. So much parallel lines going on forwards here. It's almost like a mini astral wall as well. Pinity's still holding in arches. Lori's still watching for mid-side for any potential flanks, one of which could come through, but the Viper's Pit's going to say otherwise. Hunter's Fury in returns, not going to find any bodies except for Claudia to go down. But CLG Red, dedicated to the site already, spikes in the ground. They had 3 bodies left. They have to play around the Viper's Pit.
Yeah, that was a blind tag with that Sova Dart through the smoke, finding the Viper, but they were still not able to take advantage of that 5v3 retake. They are coming in from all sides, and Naomi has already gone down. Not looking good.
Here's the problem. Rise completely blind as well, except for up close and personal. Viper's Pit gonna go down along with the bodies, and Shopify looking pretty good 5-0.
Yeah, 5-0 and CLG Red, even though they were able to get on the site and they had a member watching their backs, Naomi just could not do anything against Shopify. So it really seems like neither site is the place to go. I don't even think they've gotten a plant on that A site, while they have gotten plants on B. So I kind of want them to completely go onto that A site, maybe do that mid to A split that I don't think we've actually seen. I think there were only like 2 members that were going there, but they didn't fully push in through those doors.
Absolutely. And so we do have attack pause coming out now from CLG Red side. Honestly, the best time to do it would be now. Down 5 rounds in a row, it's still perfectly doable to bring it back, albeit at best flawlessly bringing it 7-5 to CLG's favor would be the best case scenario. But even things out 6-6, or maybe even taking a lesser amount of points going to the second half, still entirely doable for CLG side. But what would the big win condition be, Kura, for CLG to really bring it back? Because they're going in aggressive. It seems like they know what they're doing, pushing onto a site. It's the retakes they're struggling with.
I mean, I really think it's going to be up to Claudia to make sure that none of those members of Shopify Rebellion are just getting picks for free. I think she's gone down quite a bit, and Bonita still has not had that orbital strike charged up, and it is 6 out of 7 right now. So I'm expecting them to actually go into caves and pick that up, because I think at least for the hold, she can play a lot further back, actually use those smokes, because I actually haven't seen too many of the brimstone smokes come down.
No, I think the only times we've seen them have been from Nest.
Yeah, so we definitely need to see more of that, at least just to cut off the sightlines of Shopify, especially with the op playing right in the middle of those pyramids looking toward A, where CLG is postured right now.
And Lori's already waiting. Guiding Light's not going to affect Lori from behind the pyramids. Trying to bait out from Claudia onto Lori's shot. May try to aggress from there. The majority of the attack, though, coming in from A main. KP's able to find Benita. The controlling smokes are now gone. But Naomi, though, with the Coyote, able to find one. But it's too little too late as Claudia falls instead. Holy. Now Lori, up close and personal, wants to use shotgun knives, but gets caught out by Chobo from all the way in the front.
Yeah, but now CLG Red will at least be able to get that spike plant down. But with this retake coming in, Chobo's so low.
Oh, Chobo's so low, but they could be good for one, maybe not so much. KP good with the strafe. Naomi confirms maybe and yet another, and that gets confirmed themselves. CLG Red melt away again.
And it's still just those initial picks from Shopify Rebellion onto CLG Red. Even though they get that spike plant down, it's just so hard to hold because it seems like they're not really trading while Shopify Rebellion is.
Absolutely. And even then, it seems like at times CLG Red, when they need to trade, they just lose another body in the process.
But at least they will have 4 of those ultimates charged. Finally, 6 deaths across the board for everyone at this point, right? They've gotten a kill, so those 7 ultimate charges have been up. Resurrect the Cabbages, Blade Storm, and the Orbital Strike. But the Viper's Pit is still really far away. I feel like I would have wanted to see that in conjunction with these ultimates, but it's not really going to be too good for CLG Red since they are on that save. The knives have been popped from Claudia, but she's not really been able to get those entries.
I'm curious to see what Rise is doing right now. I think they might be trying to gain control of Hall, so you do see Han on the other side of the Hall's area with Brimstone smokes. This is where they end up being. Interesting. So now hiding in the smokes, maybe waiting for the Sova to push up here. A little bit more spatial control for CLG Red. First time we've seen a huge retake, and Claudia snipes out the upper Lori from double doors. That's huge! Even if it seems like it's an eco round, the bodies are going left and right. Han now with a drone, spots out the Sage, good for the retake in the back, but the Hellfire comes down, another body to go. Shopify Rebellion seem to have taken it back. It's only down to 1 now. Only 1 left now, inside of main, or inside of double. A little too much coverage. And Han, really nice drone work, a great Hellfire to come down, 7 in a row for Shopify.
It's still a very clean take from Shopify, and they're still using those flanks to their advantage, and CLG Red can't really deal with that. We saw Benita sitting inside of shops, but there were 2 members pushing her at that point. This pick was really critical for CLG Red, and I thought that there was a potential they could win this round.
Absolutely, too, and it seemed like the space that was gathered from CLG was a lot more in the favor of CLG than we've seen in previous rounds, but it was the retakes and the smokes being used against themselves on CLG's side that Shopify took advantage of, and I hate to break it down this far, Kura, but it just seems like Shopify have just been able to win gunfights more than CLG.
Yep, I definitely do agree with you. We were talking about the trades, and at this mid-side, Chobo is going to get brought down to 37, healing herself up, but now mid. Look at how far KP has been pushed up. She's going to get 2 here.
KP and Diana are so good about maneuvering their way around a site, but Benita's able to push up and take some elbow control. Coyote comes down, takes some damage, but Benita again able to hide away on Brown Box. But KP is an absolute monster in conjunction with Diana, finding some more bodies left and right.
This is really just a slaughter for Shopify Rebellion. I mean, CLG Red, that was the time they had tried to take mid. I think they tried to take mid 2 times before, and it kind of just happened the same exact way. They just got shot down and shut down by Shopify. You know, A's not really working out for them. B's not working out for them because of that operator. And it seems the op is moving to A. So this is really the only time they have to push onto B. And they don't know this.
No, by no means. But right now, we have seen CLG push into B aggressively, A into aggressively. Is it going to be Halls aggressively this time?
I mean, it has to be. They have to keep trying different things. There's only 4 rounds left in this half. Honestly, they're not really giving themselves that much room to work with on the map. As you see, they're still all congregated very closely to each other, except for Claudia, who is finally watching that flank. But there are still 2 members there that she could potentially have to deal with. And just look at those shots from Lori.
Great shot from Lori there. Able to snipe away almost the entirety of the attack, now having to force themselves back into caves. No rotate potential anymore. KP now pushed up, unaware about the Brimstone, it seems. Benita's able to get away with their own life, but you notice how they only have sheriffs? That's not a good sign, especially against the Vandal. Han takes down Benita, and the other two, seemingly unknown, but they're making their way towards B site.
They aren't. I don't even know if they can get the spike plant down at this point because KP is already here and everybody's moving in. Oh, they will actually let her stick it, but she will go down shortly after. It is 9-0 right now, and as a reminder, this was CLG's map pick.
Yeah. Shopify have just shown their dominance so far, but this could also just be a very defender-favored map between these two teams.
I mean, I think Breeze honestly could go either way. It really depends on the playstyle, and because Shopify Rebellion, they kind of play separately. They have the flank potential, and they're really using it. I think that's why they're in such a large lead right now.
Yeah, KP and Diana have been so good about strangling out either the mid-side aggression or just, like you said, finding those flanks, and oftentimes it's both.
Not going into this, I mean, CLG Red, if they don't win this one, they're going back onto another save. Only 2 ultimates to work with this time. Those cabbages and that resurrect. Looks like they're pushing toward B, but Lori sitting on a very high position.
Oh, this is a nasty angle, Lori. Oh no,
If I were
don't do
them,
it to him.
I wouldn't even be checking this. I wouldn't even know.
Oh, but Lori's
the
gonna
shot
miss.
doesn't hit.
The guiding light worked out so well, but KP with a double kill inside of main. Sure, they go down, but they did their job. It's up to Lori now, up close, up personal. Claudia able to find the imposter instead. CLG are melting
Diana.
away.
Anna's coming up from behind, and even though Claudia has picked up this operator, it's going to be very, very scary since they are just holed in onto that B site.
And Diana's gone unchecked. Han's still waiting inside of tunnel. Waiting for anyone to get that spike into the ground. Definitely eyes are watching from up. I didn't even know that could be possible. Han's gonna fall. Diana's still waiting to inch up slowly but surely. Definitely for the post plant. The Viper's still waiting for a potential cross from the backside. Not gonna happen though. Diana, they play their cards wrong. This could be CLG's first win. Instead,
30
getting on
seconds
main.
left.
30 seconds left. Still waiting for the potential flank. Claudia's ready and waiting. Nothing just yet.
I think it's really wise for Shopify just to wait for the plant here and then move in once they are distracted. And look at that. Distracted right there. The spike plant not able to go down. 14 seconds left. She is going to try to plant again, but their health bars are just so low with Panini pushing in on the other side.
Enemy remaining.
Well, this could go either way, but the shots come through. Panini again. Not a single drop of sweat had gone down. 10 in a row for Shopify Rebellion. That was definitely the closest round for CLG too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they had the right idea, looking and making sure if Shopify Rebellion was going to be a little bit over-aggressive, that they could take advantage of that. But they only were focusing on Diana, who was coming in from B main, and not from Panini, who's coming in through that tunnel. So again, Operator's going to go back onto Lori. Shopify Rebellion are just swimming with money and swimming in rounds. As CLG Red, they didn't use either of those 2 ultimates for that round, but the Orbital Strike will be available. They're going to be looking to try mid again. And this time, Shopify, they're not really placing anybody there. They're just going to be looking to potentially push out a B site.
Some mid-aggression comes through from CLG. The crux of the attack towards elbow. Lori's still waiting with the up, but not a single human body here on the side of Arches.
Oh, that's a lot of info.
Oh no. Naomi, ready for the counter flank. KP pushes out, still finds the opening shots. Again, Shopify doing so well. It's now 4-2.
Spike down.
Diana. Oh no, Kura.
Even though they were on the site too, just look at the shots from Lori. She's able to go in from the front of the site. This is 11-0. CLG Red getting shut down everywhere.
Last round before
You know what they always say in a best of 3 scenario, if you're looking to win, you want to win your own map pick. If you lose your own map pick, then go to the team's choice of map afterwards in a best of 3, things are not looking good.
It definitely is not. And I don't think CLG Red, they don't really like playing Ascent. They're more of Split and Icebox players, as I've seen. I mean, I think that's also going to be an uphill battle for them. So hopefully they get one round right now as the Viper's Pit is available. They're looking to push through A, and hopefully this smoke, oh, the Viper smoke has not gone down yet, but hopefully this actually cuts down Lori because she is ready and waiting on that site.
I don't think I've ever seen the follow cam on a Viper wall before. That was awesome.
But
Oh,
Orbital Strike
hello.
coming through, but yep, there we go. Hello, they're onto the site.
And look at the surprise aggression coming out from CLG, right? The Viper Wall is going to go on forwards. Lori blocked out by their own Cloud Burst. Could be able to find the shots on the Claudia, and of course they do, but now the dives are in the way into the Viper Burst. They could be able to find a lot of info here. They check behind bricks first, and look at that. There's one. It's Naomi, but Naomi's able to find the shots and survive.
Diana coming in from the other side. She's not going to be prepared.
Oh, but Rise is still holding down inside the water, the swampy water. Never mind, it's going to be cleared up. The pollution's now gone. KP re-rotating around the pyramids yet again towards Brick's side. Oh, okay. I guess they fall. It's CLG to take the first round.
They got one, as we said. And now going in onto the attack. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that the attack has a bit of an edge on Breeze because there are so many places you could go and there's so many angles that the defense has to hold. It did not seem like a problem at all for Shopify though, because they honestly just were reading CLG red. They looked everywhere that CLG was going. Now when they are on the attack, I'm expecting them to push absolutely everywhere.
And a lot of ult utility had to been used that last round too. I mean, it was the last round, sure, but I mean, it was just an absolute war zone of a mess. And I feel like CLG, they didn't really give enough benefit to A side. We saw the Viper's Pit go down, and otherwise, that was really their best round because they were able to take advantage of having a lack of line of sight denial. But we are going to be going to the second half now. Shopify now on the attack. Early guiding light is going to go underway to give tell where the attack's going to be. The Rise by themselves, well, they get overwhelmed so easily.
Yep, and now B side is completely Shopify Rebellion. CLG Red, they stacked 4 members toward A, and that gamble did not pay off.
No, by no means. And Benita still behind half wall. By themselves again. A 1v potential 5.
But look at the flank coming out from Claudia. Han has to catch this.
Definitely reminiscent. It's a frenzy too. Up close, personal, picking up the ghost now. Long range combat in their favor. Could be against Panini now. 78 HP left. Not able to find the shots just in time. Benita's able to get. Oh no, Benita's gonna fall, but Panini's able to get away. Gonna re-rotate again. Try to go for a mini flank against the defense themselves. Claudia is still good for B main. Time is running out though, and Claudia finds themselves last one alive.
Yep, CLG, they played that very split. So we see their bodies at the back of site, bodies at the front of site. And that 2v, was it 2v4 at that point? They were just apart. They did not have the utility to kind of follow up with each other. So Shopify Rebellion are now on match point 12-1. And CLG, they have to buy here, but they don't really have anything. They're just going to try to get those shields and only one Spectre on Chobo.
Only one Spectre, and this is 12-1 for CLG. And even in Game Changers, CLG did such a great job on Breeze, but this is a very different story right now. And with them only having Sheriffs, Naomi's holding a powerful angle from elbow side, but they're up against Phantoms. And 2v1 no less too. Guiding light, it's going to be a great escape option.
Well, they've looked like this for Shopify Rebellion. They've pushed up in some places. They've made CLG Red use some of their utility. So now they're going to back off, regroup, and they're going to move all together toward A. It seems like they themselves have not used too much utility. So they have a lot to push onto A, and it is only going to be Chobo. Last time it was only Rise. So I think they're going to be able to overwhelm A very quickly.
That Sage Wall was there, but it's been broken away now completely. Chobo's by themselves and no real utility to work with. Claudia from Double's going to help out a little bit more, but in conjunction with the Viper Wall, it's going to be difficult to find a line of sight. Getting onto the side so quickly below the pyramids, KP goes for the spike plant, but Chobo from behind's good for one, but the spike could easily be picked back up. Another one to fall, possibly from double side. Diana strafing back and forth, finding another kill. It's going to be down to CLG. Potentially 2 left in the entire first map here. And no, it's all down to 1. It's Rise who has to stay alive, but they can't. Diana gets a triple, and Panini ends it all.